Hi, I'm Cody.
And I'm Brandon.
Welcome to Failure to Log Out, where we discuss different anime, video games, etc.
Where we break down different episodes of the anime or video games to help people fall in love with the shows and video games like we did.
If that sounds good to you, then come on, let's log in. Alright, so, episode 2 of Super HxEros, and this episode is called Hero Forms.
Hero Forms?
That's actually what it's called, yeah, here it's, HxEros Forms. Because, when I first saw that come up, I'm like, this has to be a mess up, there's no way it's that simple, but yeah, this one is. The first one was called, The Light in Between Us, or whatever it was, so, it was this, serious kind of intro, but this one's just, forms. It gets the point across.
True.
I guess you can jump right into the episode. So the first thing I noticed with this episode, you get your anime intro right in the beginning. But here's the thing. Or wait, no, there was no intro in the beginning. What happened in this one in the beginning was it starts out with them in the
kind of like in episode 1, kind of like a little bit of follow-up.
Yeah, it was an opening with fan service, actually, because I made sure that I wrote that down. That is how they open this episode out. It was with the nudity, and I actually wrote down the dialogue, because it's one of the things, you take out the fan service part of it, the conversation that they had, again, this show does a good job at pulling me into this story. The fan service shit is just extra, goofiness, but it's for me, it's the relationship.
Right, hold on. So you take away the fan service and its meaning, but the first thing that you open up with is they're getting dressed, and she places his hand on her boob and says, "This is to help save humanity."
I know that part, but what I'm saying is, all right.
So how is that meaningful?
Here is the dialogue. Are you ready? Wait, here? It takes erotic energy to beat the Keishu. As she unbuttons her shirt, puts his hand on her boob. It's not what you think. It's only the way to save humanity. Opening scene, boom, there's the intro.
Yes.
Then the anime intro kicks in. Okay, so
this is the only way to save humanity is just to touch boobs?
Well, it's to build up your erotic energy. That's what they're doing. You need to build up your erotic energy.
I guess that's true.
And that's how they're going to save humanity. If you take that part out, if you take out the fan service part of it, it's a nice warming speech of, I'm going to help you save the world.
I guess, yes.
Okay. I'm trying to justify it. But then, yeah, we cut right to the opening scene, the opening song, and which I did notice when I was watching the opening scene was, it shows the girls are in, these weird, I'm assuming it's their suits that they're going to get at some point, but we haven't seen that yet.
No.
But next we cut to the actual, roll credits, and then, Brandon, what happens?
Well, the main character, the guy, he's waking up, and you see he's in bed, and you see wrestling, kind of like where his private parts are. And then he, opens up a sheet, and, my first instinct is, a girl just gonna be, just pop and go, ah! But no, there is his dog, and in his mouth were panties, and he's like, where did you find these?
And and you hear yelling from down the hall.
And then, I can't remember her name. She busts through the door.
Her name is Momozoto. That is one thing I am having a hard time, because the other characters haven't really been introduced yet, so, without them saying their names very often, it's the only reason I know the Momozoto ones, because it's, said right at the very end of the episode.
Okay. So he has pins in his hand, and she, you show him, and he's, holding up to her body figure, and goes,
yeah, she comes bursting in the room. She's wearing a bra, and she has a towel wrapped around her waist, and when he's holding it up when she walks through, it's perfectly right at where it should be. And so
she gets mad, and snatches the panties out of his hand, and he's like, it's the dog. I swear, it's the dog. And the reason why she was mad is because she said, if you're going to be a man about it, do it yourself.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's what you're mad about? Because I didn't do it myself?
Yeah. And then, so that, she leaves all in a huff and puff, and he's just like, takes a sigh of relief, and then boom, sleepy girl pops up out of the bed next to him. And at that moment, I'm like, where the fuck she come from? It was like, because like you said, in most harems and stuff, you're expecting the girl to pop up, and we had the dog, so yeah. I did not expect that next part. That was a complete, like, shock, and I'm like, what the fuck?
And then, like, she was like, oh, I thought, why are you in my room? And he's like, really? Like, you do this way too many times. It's like the right across the room
yeah.
from me.
Yeah, he says, how many times do I have to tell you your room is across the hall? So then, next thing we do, we cut to the pink-haired girl. Like I said, a lot of my notes, because I'm not used to their names yet, that's what I'm going to refer to them as.
And you think it's going to be an innocent banter between the two, and he's like, oh, I heard you heard a wild morning this morning, and he's like, yeah, and he's sitting at the table, and she's feeding the dog, and she just sits the dog thing down, and you see the dog leap across the room.
Yo, before you go there, you gotta think too. It shows that dog, he gets those hearts in his eyes,
yeah,
and it makes you think like, oh, he's excited because he's hungry.
Yeah.
So not the fucking case. He completely overshot that bull.
I don't think he was really going for the bull.
I know, but like you said, they make you think he's gonna go for the bull, and he totally leaps underneath her shirt.
Yeah, and he's like ruffling around in her shirt, and she's like, I guess
she has an orgasm.
Yeah,
like I made sure that I wrote that down. I put a question mark because I wanted to know if that's what you thought too. But the way they make that come across, he's wiggling around in her boobs, and then all of a sudden she's like, ah! And then like it cuts to Redo, and he's looking away, kind of red in the face. Yeah.
And she's like, you didn't see anything. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So yeah, that happened, and then that's at that moment too. I'm like, all right, so everything that I kind of know about harems are kind of being thrown out with this.
Oh, true.
Yeah. With that being said, it's okay. So the dog looks like a fucking mop.
Yeah.
It does look like a mop, and as soon as I saw him, like, oh, what kind of dog is this supposed to be?
I'm gonna say Shih Tzu.
No, it's too big.
No, it's not.
Well, all right. Okay, so it's not. It might be a Shih Tzu. I was thinking like one of those. What do they call it? Like a sheepdog or something.
Maybe.
I don't know. But so then after that, it cuts to like a flashback of when they're all sitting at like. Oh no, there's like benches or tables that they're all sitting at, and the uncle, I think it's Redo's uncle.
I don't think there's a flashback.
Well, I mean, it cut to. It's the day after.
Yeah.
So, what that was the day before. So, now, it's not like a real flashback, like further in the past. It's just like the events that happened right before, and it's he's talking about like, oh, we have a full team, like we really want you on the team and everything like that, and she says the main girl Kirara.
Yeah, cool.
She's like, how are we all alike? And then the uncle was like, oh, you're all filled with filthy erotic energy, and yeah. So I mean then.
Well, she storms off.
Yeah.
But the thing that got me thinking, and like I was like, huh, that she's right. The purple hair girl that's from the beginning with the panties.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, well, we had to have 5 people because every superhero always has 5 people, and I stopped. I was like, oh shit, that's fucking true.
Yeah, Power Rangers.
I was thinking like the Avengers or Justice League.
Yeah, my mind instantly went to the Power Rangers. You got your red, blue, yellow, pink, black.
6, because green.
Yeah, but green wasn't original.
Oh, true.
But yeah, so then after that they cut back to the school, and it cuts to this guy running down the hall like, she's so mean, she's so heartless, and then he's like, the Redo is like, what happened? And so he goes walking into the room, and there's Kirara standing there, and he just pretty much is just like, hey, what's up?
I think this is the part where if you get the sentimental with those two, because they have it like he's I guess apologizing for everything that's happened to her.
Yeah, he's pretty much apologizing also for like what was said about her and everything like that.
So you get that touchy-feely, between them two.
That's the one thing that the show does a really good job at. You can tell their emotions for one another.
Yeah.
It does hint at that a lot.
Even though she's trying to hide it, she does feel something for him.
And so then, after that, the next thing that we see is you hear a yell of a bug. Another Kishu shows up.
Which I thought that this part was about stupid.
The regulating bug? Dude, I laughed at that.
Where she's like, I don't like this. It's too long.
Yeah. All right. So what Brandon's saying is the bug, the Kishu, it shows up and it shows a girl. She's walking down the street and she's wearing she's in her school uniform, but her skirt's short and it's very pretty revealing. And the Kishu zooms in on it and is like, oh, this is not regulation. And she's like, I don't like long skirts. And then the bug has the magical power to make the skirts long.
That's what I'm guessing.
But then out of nowhere, Redo pops in and goes, bam! Hits it, and the bug is defeated, and the girl's skirt magically goes back to being short. It is cloth. That does not happen. It's true, though.
Yeah, it's the power of the show.
Yeah, I get that, but okay, so...
It's probably if it gets defeated...
It made the bug an Indian giver.
Yes, but
it gave it more cloth, and it took it away.
What I'm saying is, I'm guessing, this is what I'm thinking, is once it got defeated, all of the alien's power just went away, and it went back to being in short shorts.
Fine. Alright.
That's what I'm taking.
I mean, I get it, but I actually wrote down in my notes when I watched that scene, when the skirt grew, I wrote WTF. Because I was just like, no, that doesn't happen. But after that, it cuts to later on, they're walking. She's carrying boxes. Kirara's carrying boxes, and Redo comes in, and he wants to talk to her and just kind of apologize for everything and see how she's doing because of the incident that happened this morning, and he was trying to find out in a way hey, what's the deal with this guy? And I noticed, I made a note of it. Anime has weird camera angles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it cuts to her turning around talking to him, but for some reason, it cuts down to where it's a right camera shot looking at her butt, but the way she's standing, you can see her panties.
Of course I want you to show that, because
I know, but
hit of the erotica.
Why? Oh, I get that part, but here's the thing about the anime. Your main focus is their conversation. Yes. You're not seeing her. You see her butt. You see him off in the distance, but it's the camera angle. Pick one or the other. Because you got a little bit. I think they were purple or pink or something. So you get all blue, and then you get that little pink stripe. And my eyes instantly what the hell is that? And then when I look, I'm like, oh, okay. And the whole time, he's having this serious moment, and then I'm distracted by the anime booty because it's right there. I mean, it takes up 3/4 of the screen. But they have a discussion she says, why? Why are you doing this? Why do you want to be a hero and everything? And do you remember what he says?
Not on the top of my head.
See, this is why we take notes. Brandon flipped me off. So what he says to her is he wants to fight because of what happened on the day with what happened to her. He wants to do that because he doesn't know he can't help himself but wonder what if that never happened, what would they have become? Then he says he also wants to do it for other people that have had like their stuff getting taken away from them because they're not getting to fulfill their life. And she's kind of moved by what he's saying, but then, she's still kind of like dealing with she doesn't want to admit that she has like a perverted side and shit. So there's like a weird, until she's gonna admit it, there's gonna be this weird tension. But what it does right here is we flash back to when they're kids for the heartbeat thing.
I think that's a little bit later.
No, it's right after. Dude, I told you, I take notes as I'm watching it.
Because I know it's when they're in the car with the heartbeat, but...
No, that's the second time. This is the first time when they're kids. They flash back to when the kids are talking, because you gotta think, he was just talking about like what happened on the day when they were kids. So I got a feeling throughout the series we're gonna keep getting a lot of stuff from like their childhood and why they're so close. But so what it cuts to, it cuts back to when they're kids, and she wants to see, or she says
she wants to see whose heartbeat can get faster.
Yeah,
his
because
or hers.
She says, did you know the average heart beats over 1 million times in an average human lifespan? And he's like, okay. And she's like, well, let's see whose beats faster. And he's like, I'm not gonna lose. And so they hop down inside the jungle gym thing. And that's a recurring thing. Inside this jungle gym is like their little weird kinky kid like touch each other area. But
she wanted him to do chest to chest, and he said no way, we're not gonna do that. So she I guess basically like they're hugging.
Yeah, they did like a weird chest hug thing, and I think she made a comment about like, what is this feeling that I'm having, and she could really hear his heart pounding, and she could feel her heart pounding, and like they're kind of pounding in sync.
And she's like, well, it's a tie. We both they're like fast.
And then it cuts to it cuts back to normal day, and they're on like a basketball court or in a parking lot or something, and
it's like almost like because there's like a basketball gym / tennis thing,
just some weird like outdoor court for all the high school kids, and a monster appears.
I think this one is a better, cooler monster.
It's a bee.
Yeah, but they're all bug related.
Well, yeah.
But I thought this one was actually pretty cool.
At least like when you look at this one, you're like, all right, this one, it has a stinger. It's kind of dangerous.
Yeah.
Like the other one the regulator thing, it was like, I looked at it like, what is this supposed to be? But yeah, this one, it's apparently the bigger sister of the regulator, and she's actually trying to find Redo, the one who hurt her sister. And as she's looking around, she ends up finding that dude.
The guy's heartbroken.
Yeah, and
I think her power is kind of cool because she can see in your thoughts.
Yeah, and she's like, she said to him, like, oh, your heart was broken. If she only knew the dirty things you were thinking about.
And it cuts to the dirty things he was thinking about.
They're
weird as shit.
Do you remember what they were?
Well, first, it's like her and her, like, kind of like peony thing.
No, it's swimsuit first.
Yeah, well, it's almost like a peony thing. Swimsuits are almost like... It's like... Swimsuits are almost like bras and panties, but we call it acceptable.
Okay. Alright.
It's pretty much the same shit.
Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you. I mean, that's one thing I've said for a long time.
And then it cuts into her, like... She has a tail, and she's going meow, and...
Yeah, the next one, it's kind of like a track and field thing. Then the one after that, I didn't know if that was a cat or a dog.
Well, like, she's supposed...
No, she says, you want to take me for a walk, master? And then she goes, meow. That's why I'm like, is this a cat or a dog? I can't tell. Do people walk cats?
No, they don't walk cats.
See? But then the meow part, what the fuck?
Oh, maybe they might walk cats. You know, you never know.
I don't know. But at that moment, I was literally like, I don't know what's going on.
And while this is going on with her, the monster and that guy, the blonde girl comes in, and it looked like she was gonna rush in, but then she was hiding and was hoping that he would come and just defeat the monster himself.
Yeah. And yeah, that's kind of because she shows up right when the bee lady is talking to the guy that she hurt his feelings, and she's learning all this stuff, and now she feels like shit, but she doesn't want to show her face out of embarrassment, so she's waiting on Redo to come in and save the day. And lo and behold, just like in any other anime and harem, Redo shows and saves the guy and saves the girl. He hits the bug so hard that Redo and Kirara both end up naked.
And when he's standing there, he doesn't know that she's naked.
He doesn't even know that she's behind him.
Yeah. And like she says something, and he goes, like he was all shocked, and was like, "Where's your clothes?" He goes, "You're the one that did this."
Yeah. And then that's when they hide in the car because they're here. I think somebody yelled like monster or something.
No, the guy that was about to get stung and was get attacked, he got a cop.
That's right.
And he was like, "There's a monster," and he was like, "There was one," and then they're walking around and.
Yeah, that's when they jump inside a car.
Yeah, because they were both naked.
Yeah.
They don't want to get caught.
And at that moment, that's when they're leaning up against each other, and she has like an inner dialogue like about like they're naked, the hugging like they did when they were kids, but this time she knows like her heart's the one beating faster.
And at this scene, the only thing you see is she's behind him, holding him, and all you see is her boobs and just I guess glistening.
Yeah. And so after all that, the next thing it goes to is like with her inner dialogue still, she reveals about that how much like she actually loves him and cares about him and everything.
Yeah.
And so then they're sitting there outside of the car, now they're talking, they're getting dressed because Redo just carries around immaculate amounts of clothes. And like I said in the first episode, I'm gonna say it again. Why is he carrying around perfect clothes that are gonna match her? They're gonna fit her perfectly. Because if you look at the other girls that that are part of the group, they're all different body types, but yet he magically has a pair of clothes that are gonna fit her perfect. I feel like that's kind of stalkery.
I don't think so. I think it's just like a coincidence. Like, hey, we just
pretty funky coincidence. I mean, he's saying throughout the whole thing like how much he cares about and everything, and all, he carries around clothes for.
Because he cares about it.
That's all I'm saying. It's weird.
So if you cared about someone, you wouldn't carry just random clothes around?
Okay, so you want to apply anime logic to reality. I don't have the power to punch and make clothes fall off anybody.
Well, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, we established they care about each other, so he knows.
Okay, well then you want to put out that logic. It's pretty messed up. She doesn't carry around clothes for him.
Because she's hiding the fact that she likes him.
Alright, we can go with that. But what I wanted to get to was they're standing there, they're getting dressed. Well, he's kind of knelt down and she's standing up. She's buttoning up her shirt, and she's saying that she's gonna join him, and he turns around, and perfectly at that time, a gust of wind is gonna come, and he's looking right at her. She's not wearing underwear at this point. She's not wearing shorts or anything, so he is face to face in her crotch. And what happens in all anime? Even though it's a fluke, it's an accident, he didn't do it on purpose, he gets hit. I'm just saying, it's not fair.
I think it might be a running theme.
It's in every harem.
Well, at the end of the first episode, he gets slapped. The end of the second episode, he gets slapped. What's going to be on the third episode ending? He's
gonna get slapped. So alright, so that happens, and then it shows that she's making amends to that guy. She's apologizing for her and his feelings, and then we cut to her moving in. She's meeting everybody, and there's this part I laughed really hard at. Like, hard. And it's weird at how hard I thought this was funny. So he's in his room and he lays down on his little futon mattress thing on the ground. And he's like, I can't believe that they're all here and we have a team now. Like, this is gonna be great. And as he's laying down, it cuts to the girls again, and they're saying like how they're gonna give Kirara a tour to let her, see the facilities and everything like that. And then all of a sudden, there's an alarm goes off, and it's Giant Kishu has appeared, and it cuts to him, and he's like laying face down on his futon. He's like, man, what? And then he falls through the floor. Like, he sleeps on a trap door.
That's just...
You can say what you want. He's laying on a trap door. A trap door is, it's a hidden door.
Is all rooms like that?
I don't know. But where he falls was awesome. Because the alarm goes off, his floor magically gives out, and he falls down. Okay, use the laws of physics. As he falls down, he's laying on that mattress, the futon, the blanket. So as he's falling, his weight should be making that fall down first. As he falls down, that disappears. What's he land on, Brandon? Go ahead, say it.
Her?
No, not just her. He falls down into the bath because they decided as the group of girls, the community for a team building exercise, that they were going to all take a bath together. So he falls down on all of them in a dog pile.
Can I ask one thing?
Huh.
Why is it, like, for a team building exercise, I just don't get, hey, let's just take a bath together.
I don't get it, but the show's about erotic energy, and they're all going to be, like, naked with each other.
Okay, I get it now.
But then also, I guess in a way that's a trust building exercise, because I don't know about you, but I'm not getting in a bath with anybody.
Me either.
And especially if I don't know anyone, but that's the best way you're going to get to know somebody is they can't hide anything at that point. But I digress. But did you see what I'm saying? The blanket stuff, it's gone. And he lands perfectly on them. And at that point, Kirara, well, I think he actually says when he lands, he's like, what are you guys doing? And that she's like, oh, well, we all decided to take a bath. And Kirara is new to this kind of situation. And she gets a little pissy. And does some, like, mega super punch up into the air, and it shoots out of the house, hits the giant Kishu in the air, and destroys it in one hit. Roll credits. That's how the episode ended.
I don't think... Does she have... I don't know if I saw it. Does she have that watch?
She might have. I don't think she did, though.
So that's her own power.
Yeah, because each person, they have their... like watch thing. They each have they have like a watch or a band or a bracelet, like because Momozoto, hers is on her leg. The pink girl, hers is on her neck as a choker.
Okay.
If you pay attention to the opening scene, it shows like a little pink flame on where their watch is, or like their little power gauge thing. But that wraps up episode 2 of Super HxEros. Hero forms.
It was a good episode.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm looking forward to covering the next one. It's interesting, and I'm gonna ask you this: what do you think it's gonna be about? Because the next episode is called Butterfly Effect.
Butterfly Effect?
Butterfly Effect.
Well, how each episode, I guess, is named is a secret meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna say butterflies, like in your stomach between those two.
Oh. Okay. That's not a bad way to look at it.
Okay.
Well, I mean, we'll see. My thinking when it comes to Butterfly Effect is just because every episode's kind of like a bug, I'm thinking the butterfly is gonna be the thing.
Okay.
But I guess we'll find out next time. And so when you listen.
Yeah.
That's it. Just yeah.
You gotta stay tuned to see what happens.
Alright. Join us next time if you want to hear what happens in the Butterfly Effect. Thanks for listening to the Failure to Log Out podcast.
If you like what you heard, give us a like and don't forget to subscribe.
We are on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, and YouTube. If you could leave us a review, it helps out a lot.
You can also check me out on the Platform Podcast every Saturday on Twitch and YouTube.
And you can also check me out on the Lunch After Dark podcast, and we're anywhere you listen to podcasts, we're going to be there. With that being said, we'll see you next time.